Say that again. Masamoto.
Tsukiji Masamoto, so it's not the Sohoten, it's the Tsukiji. So it's 240.
Let's see it before you.
It's carbon, which
Carbon
you can
steel.
see all the pitting and the patina. It's kind of dirty and the grind's pretty bad all through here, so you can see that the section here is a lot fatter than the top. So they must have just sharpened all through here. And then
Let's take a close shot.
the grind on the back's kind of shot too. So I'm gonna see if I can wear down this and have more of an even curvature here. Shouldn't be too hard, but it'll just take a little bit of time and a little grease to kind of get this profile back in line so that it's a little bit more usable than just a bunch of heel and then one long straight. So,
What stone are you starting with?
so this is a Shapton Maku 300.
300 grit. Shapton.
Ton of fun. Just gonna go little by little, switch sides as I go. Not really too interested in what my angle is right now because I'm just trying to take material off. And then once I get closer to where I want to be, then afterwards I'll just go ahead. Then at that point, I'll be a little bit more conscientious of my angle. But for now, I'm just trying to wear down the shit part because this is it's not in good condition at all.
So what was the condition when we got it? We got it. It's like it's almost like hollow on the pointy end, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna fix.
Hollow ground up here at the top. Doesn't really like you can tell that the bevel up here is still rounded if you feel it, but when you're here it's almost completely flat.
Yeah.
So they fit it here, and they were trying to probably sharpen it this way, but they didn't do any work on the tip and they didn't do any work on the heel. So if you look at the shape of the knife, it looks like a slicer up from the top, like a Tsukiji from the top, but then it looks like a Gyuto at the bottom, which doesn't really make sense. So in order to make it, actually work and be able to cut things again and be consistent, instead of having all your veggies accordion and then having weird cuts in general, just kind of fix the profile as much as I can. And that's it.
So it looks like you're thinning out more on the bottom at first.
Yeah.
Then you do it by section, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, all I want to do is I just want to make sure that this right here is an even profile here.
Yeah.
Which is why you can see more of the edge right over here.
you can see the edge is almost like
So as long as So I'm just trying to keep this particular profile right here because we're already at that point from by here all the way in. So just try to take off as much material down here as I can. It'll still take me a while because, you know, it's not the greatest of shape. And I mean, the other thing is that if you think about the profile of the knife at the moment, because of the way that it is, I don't want to really remove material at the top anyhow, because the more material I remove at the top, the worse the knife is going to function over time. Because if you're gonna sharpen it again, it's just going to keep removing material, and then you end up with no knife.
Yeah.
And this turns into a Tsuji instead of a Gyuto. Which, I mean, you know, it has benefits at the same time, but then it also limits the capabilities of the knife as well. You can see how the majority of the material is actually coming off here at the edge, which isn't necessarily what I want overall, but indicative of larger problems with the knife in this case.
Yeah, that's how you sharpen knife. As you grind the metal, you should always check it. So you're not like grinding metal just aimlessly trying to sharpen it. You always check where you're at. Do you know what kind of carbon steel this is?
Do not know.
This is pure carbon.
I'm sorry?
Pure carbon.
And it's either a pure carbon or at the very least it's a high carbon. I mean, I'm not really familiar with Tsukiji knives to begin with.
Tsukiji knives.
Tsukiji Masamoto, I'm not really familiar with their lineup.
Oh.
I don't really want to. I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to their lineup because it's just.
Oh yeah, just to let you guys know, this is not his knife.
Compared to before, if you actually look a little bit more, it's not as rounded down here. Now we're beginning to remove a lot more of the material there. The way that it is now, it'll probably be like another. I keep going like this at this angle. And this pressure will probably be like another 15-20 minutes. I'm using a lot of heavy pressure here, so I can remove material as fast as I can because I'm personally on time restraints. So I don't want to. I also don't want to spend like an hour doing this.
Yeah.
So just try to take off as much material as quick as I can, and then try to remove. If I can work on it again later, then that's another story. Now just try to get as much of this stuff off as I can. By itself, where we are now.
Let's see where we're at right now.
Yeah, so it's a lot better now that this is a little bit more consistent. Still a lot of work to do be honest with you, but you can still see like an obvious. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video. There's an obvious deformation from here to here, and then the blade goes. So the blade goes kind of like that, and then curves up like this, and then rounds out at about here. So the idea is to take off again all that material at the bottom, so that it's at least kind of consistent. I probably won't be able to finish this before my shift starts.
Yeah. So this is gonna be the first part, and we're gonna walk you through until we finish the knife. It's probably gonna be 2-3 parts of this.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can film it. 'Cause I do have to get this knife back to the owner. So.
When?
Huh?
When?
Well,
Tomorrow?
they didn't really give me a time, but I also don't want to keep this knife for too long.
Oh.
I got my own projects to work on.
Well, send me a picture then when you finish it.
Alright.
So what other projects do you have, Dad?
I'm sorry?
What other projects do you have, Dad?
I thought you were older than me.
No, we're about the same age.
I don't know. Let's see. It's a little bit more consistent now.
Let's see.
So yeah, it's a little bit more consistent. You can see more through here, but you can actually see where we are in the back because from about here, and it's more apparent up here because you can see it up here. And then even though I started ground off there, all that shiny new metal that's at the bottom, you can tell that you can tell even more that there's that curvature right there. So. Take care of your knife. And I mean, like, to be honest with you, it's just like, yeah, we're knife fanatics, and we like to look at pretty new knives and all this other stuff. But realistically, you only need, if you take care of a knife.
If you take care of a knife and you know how to sharpen it,
You know how to sharpen it. It can last you like forever.
definitely. Doesn't matter if it's actually cheap or not, but it just depends on the user.
Now it's nice to have like a bunch of different knives. I like to have a bunch of different knives.
Yes.
But to be honest with you, like, if if you have something that's sustainable and will last you a long time, everybody use it and stick with it. Because then that just becomes another extension of who you are. In my opinion.
What was your first knife?
Very, very first knife was really shitty Analon.
Oh!
Santo.
We should show them that, the Analon. I love the scabbard of that knife too. This is a full metal, right?
I think it's a stamped. I think I want the stamped knife. It's not a sport one.
How is it?
I mean, this is going to be a lot flatter than before. What I could do is just put it in a really steep angle, but it's not working. I'm not counting strokes either, I'm just kind of feeling out where I am. Just checking my burr, seeing how much material I'm removing.
So what is the burr?
The burr is that little piece of metal. The idea is that when you sharpen a stone, you're pushing the edge of the stone over. So you're pushing the metal one way, and then you push the other side of the metal one way. And the idea is that you have the metal intersect at one point or another. So the metal ends up coming like this, and then you try to remove that by sharpening to this angle. So you want to have two consistent angles. And it can be an angle like this. An angle like 50-50, could be an angle like 50-50, but a little bit steeper. And it depends on your preference and how you cut and how you use your knife. But
so what are we gonna make this knife? What preference we're gonna do?
It's gonna be a 50-50.
50-50.
Because I mean, the person who owns this knife, not really, a super chef. He just have these guys who want to make it high on a day-to-day basis and have a knife for me to work on. Now we're looking a lot better. And I mean, to be honest with you, the way it is now, I could probably cut some paper with this. Profile's looking a lot better. Now it's a lot more uniform. Can't really tell as much as you could before that the heel was too fat. Took a lot of material off down at the bottom, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you are. Yeah, just gonna start pulling up the blade. And just some light passes on 300. Trying to make the bevel uniform. But again, I don't want to take too much material off. once I start taking material off, you can't get it back.
You're stroking like on a lighter pressure, right?
Yep. So me taking off material pressure and then me trying to just kind of build a bevel on the 300 is totally different. So you can, there's still parts that I need to work on, but I'm not trying to take too much off. You can tell that, you know, through here, you can see where all the metal's coming off. So the other thing that this knife really needs, because of how far hollow ground it is now, the heel, you can see that there's a bunch of metal right here, and if you feel it up, it rounds off, which means that this is going to be really fat behind the blade. It'll dull faster, but it'll be a little bit more sturdy. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who you are. Make sure that this cuts a little better. I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit, nothing too crazy. I don't want to round the edge too much. I do want to make sure that this is a little bit thinner behind the blade, not too thin, but at least enough to kind of match the amount that there is up at the top. Just so we can get it in cutting order. Switch over from the .300 to my 1000 grit.
So we only started at 300 because we wanted to take out steel or material as much as we can fast. If you start with 1000, that's going to take you a long time.
I don't have anything to take off the patina.
Yeah.
But I also want to get off some of the rust and some of the crap, so I'm just kind of giving light passes. It's not going to be a pretty process. But you can tell that I'm just trying to take off some of the really shit patina. See if I can get some of this corrosion off. I think I would need some sandpaper instead for this. And I'm not about to whip out the sandpaper.
So as you go up the grit, you can hear with almost no sound. That's the 1000 grit right there. That's how smooth the stone is.
So this is looking a little bit better. Just trying to take off the shit patina. I don't think I can take off any of that.
Yeah. As you can see, we're still taking a lot of material.
Is totally different in some spots and totally consistent in others. Now we're getting, let's turn on actually. Passes above the actual cutting bevel itself. Just trying to work out some of the spots. Because because I don't know what kind of patina was on this, and I'm not really willing to find out. I would also say for anyone just starting out, I mean, I'm not a pro with this, but you know, the knives are a very, very tactile thing. Don't just use your eyes. Use your fingers, of course. Touch is your best friend, and then
Yeah.
then also listen to it. You can hear how the stone reacts. You can hear how the stone moves, how the knife moves in relation to the stone. You can hear and feel a bunch of different things as you go. So it's important to kind of use all the tools at your disposal.
So you're doing here, you're kind of like taking out the patina, right?
Yeah, just removing the patina, evening out, you know, just seeing what spots are high, which spots are low.
Yeah.
On the grind. And then just kind of make the knife a little nice and shiny. Now, because this is a carbon knife, you have, you know, it's much more high maintenance. But yeah, can't leave it wet. You do have to dry it off, wipe it off as you go. Otherwise, it'll rust.
Yes.
Then you have, then that leads to a whole other set of problems.
Or you could buy a rust eraser.
Yeah, but sometimes you have rust that's been in here for a long time.
Yeah. With those kinds of rust, it's hard to remedy.
And
As soon as it gets rusted, you have to take that away right
yeah,
away.
you can see all the corrosion here. It looks like black spots.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. Now we'll start to put an edge on this.
Now we're putting the edge.
There are a couple tutorials online that will talk about putting an edge on a knife. And the idea is you can stick to a angle. You can think about things in terms of like, oh, I need a 15-degree angle, or I need a 20-degree angle, or,
Yeah.
or whatever. But in reality, some people do talk about this online, that you just want your angle to be consistent from the top to the bottom of the blade. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, like a specific angle. You just want to make sure that, you know, the angle that you have is consistent from where you started to where you end. I'm not walking it like some people do, like, you know, they do that. I find it personally difficult to do because I don't know where I can't personally feel how far I've gone in one direction or the other. So I'll work in sections and then deliberately scoot over. So I'll work on one section.
Some people swear on 15 degrees angle, but actually it doesn't matter because it's your preference how you want your angle.
And different knives and different steels need different attention.
Yeah.
So,
Depends how you use your knife too. What products you cut it with.
you're confident in what you're doing, you can freehand too. I've seen online on YouTube, I don't remember the guy's name, some crazy freehand sharpening where he's only sharpening with one hand, and he still gets, you know, razor sharp edges, and off of a coarse grit stone too. So it's not like you have to have the progressions of stone that I do, or you have to have like you know, these things. It's more about technique and experience. In my case, I just, you know, I like to have all the tools that I need to.
It's, no, for me it's actually 80% technique, 20% stone. Now we're changing it to, this is 8,000?
So this is the 5,000.
Oh, 5,000.
Because, once again, I'm just going to take this and kind of...
You hear that? Nothing. You don't hear anything.
I'm also not using a lot of pressure. I'm just trying to polish a little bit.
It's 5,000. Yeah, we're still taking out some material there. It's still black there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you're also going to... This takes off a lot of the surface material. It looks a lot more shiny than it did before.
Let's see.
Scratch pattern isn't too consistent. The scratch pattern isn't too consistent because, you know, it's the knife is hollow ground in some places and it's fatter in some places, and it's just not going to be consistent, even if I wanted it to be. So, for the time being, I'm just going to give this a nice little run through, just to see if I can take off any weird material. .430.
430.
Time to go.
Time to go. Last look.